someone who has been part of the LGBTQIA plus community for going on 13 years now, I have seen a lot of different parts of our community. But the one that I will literally never understand is conservative queer people. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. I thought, why not dive into conservative queer TikTok? Just see how weird these people are.
Ever since the presidential debate, the amount of fear-mongering I've seen on Twitter has been absolutely insane. So many trans people with huge Twitter followings are saying things like, oh, stockpile your hormones now, because if Donald Trump becomes president, Project 2025 is going into law. And
they're not wrong.
It's just so silly to me because Donald Trump has never once endorsed Project 2025. And it's because he doesn't hate trans people. Donald Trump has always been very accepting of trans people. I mean, I think back to like in 2016, 2017, when Caitlyn Jenner was first coming out, Donald Trump literally said he would have no issue with Caitlyn Jenner coming into his establishment and using the women's bathroom. So why are we all of a sudden acting like Trump is anti-trans? I can tell you guys, when I go to cast my vote, I'm voting for Donald Trump. And I'm saying that as a trans woman. And I think all trans people should follow in my footsteps because Donald Trump is for everybody. Biden is for no one.
Okay, so obviously that came out before Biden dropped out of the race. God fucking bless. But oh dear God, Miss Ma'am, Trump does support Project 2025. He's literally been on record stating in front of a crowd of evangelical extremists that they won't have to vote. He's literally said in multiple speeches, don't worry about voting, it's gonna be fixed, like that kind of thing. That's horrifying. Also, if you look at Project 2025, it's wildly transphobic, homophobic, misogynistic, racist. It's the most disgusting document in the world. You can't tell me that he doesn't know what it is, that he doesn't support it, and that he just is oblivious to all of this. This man knows. He knows. I don't understand how a trans person could say this. Like, whatsoever.
This is why public acceptance of gay people is declining. Nobody in their right mind wants to be completely inundated with pride flags for the month of June, whether you are gay or straight. We are all sick of it. I don't need to see a pride flag to feel welcome in my country or to not feel oppressed. Do you know what this says to me? Not that we're a marginalized community. In fact, it says the opposite. That we are a community that incessantly needs validation in order to feel welcome in society because we're so insecure about ourselves. If this is something that you feel like you need every June, ask yourself why. Because anybody in their right mind, gay or straight, doesn't need this or want it. This is not equality. This is privilege. And I hate to break it to you, but true equality doesn't come with privilege. So are we really fighting for equal rights or are we fighting for special treatment?
I really don't understand how you can hate on a flag. First of all, the reason why Pride Month is even a thing is because only within the last about 10-15 years has any sort of progression for LGBTQIA rights happened, like progress. So that's why Pride Month is a thing, because before that, there was literally nothing. I don't think there's personally anything wrong with people who get super into Pride Month. I don't particularly think there's any wrong for people who don't get super into Pride Month. I don't understand hating on people who genuinely like it and find community and find pride within themselves as a queer person during Pride Month. I don't think it's special treatment. I don't think it's trying to be privileged. Queer people really aren't privileged. It's just so odd to me that you would have this take as a gay man. It's just weird. I personally don't understand it, because it's just like, if you don't like pride, you don't have to participate in it. It's just people expressing who they are. Honestly, this is like the least the United States can do during Pride Month is put up a rainbow, because the legislations and laws and bills that are being passed against queer people are ridiculous. I think this is like the least they could possibly do during Pride Month, but that's just me. Someone who used to watch her back in the day, very ashamed of that fact now.
It
it really is interesting to me to see like the complete switch up of someone who used to be a progressive liberal person just completely switching sides into someone who is extremely conservative, kind of turfy, makes the videos that she does about trans people, makes videos about how stupid people on the left are, which is statistically not even true. They've literally done studies that people who are more religious leaning, which do tend to be people on the right, are actually stupider because they haven't had the need to kind of think for themselves and do that kind of stuff. So they are more prone to cults, being controlled, not a lot of in-depth thinking for themselves. So like, if you want to get real, it's actually not people on the left. Also, I don't understand why it's so hard to not be a nice person. I think that's like the biggest thing that like I have issue with more conservative queer people is they're just not nice people. Like they all seem to have this giant chip on their shoulder for whatever reason and like spew out so much negativity. Like I get not liking certain parts of the community, but like someone like her who goes after queer and non-binary and trans people that don't look cis or look straight and aren't passing, like I don't understand that. Like I don't get why there is a need to call someone in your community stupid. You know, I don't get it.
Misconception that lesbian means a woman who loves other women.
Misconception.
And actually, the definition is non-men who are attracted to and love other non-men.
We're just making stuff up as we go now, aren't we? But let's try something. Let's look at what the actual definition of a lesbian is. Notice how it said women, not non-men. But I imagine that quite shortly that definition will be changed or altered so that it can go along with the ideologies that are currently being pushed. Because if people don't like the way that things are, they just change the definitions. That does seem to be the way of things lately. But let's continue.
There have always been gender non-conforming lesbians, and it's interesting to see nowadays that there are some folks who kind of try to gatekeep that identity. And
Gatekeeping. Seriously. Well, I guess if one's argument doesn't really have much to stand on, adding buzzwords will definitely add more validity, won't it?
gatekeep that identity and only include folks who identify as women, when that's not what being lesbian is all about.
They also
There's like a
lesbians.
zillion different ways to be a lesbian.
We may have actually reached the point where real definitions of words may have actually lost all meaning because feelings are more important than actual definitions now.
Do people realize that the meanings of words change over time? Do we still speak the same way that people even like 100 years ago, 200 years ago speak? We literally don't. It's not a hard thing to understand that language can change. People change. Everything can change. I really don't understand why being more inclusive to non-binary lesbians, trans lesbians, butch non-conforming lesbians is such an issue. I'm also just not in the lesbian community, so if someone would like to explain this to me, please feel free, because I don't get why this is a problem for people. If it doesn't affect you, if you don't want to date a trans lesbian, a non-binary lesbian, you do not have to. You don't have to. You can date cis lesbians. You are not being forced to do that. I don't get why you would hate on someone in your community who is okay with that, though. Make it make sense. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I'm sorry. Like, again, someone can explain it to me down in the comments, because it just feels exclusionary. It does feel gatekeepy. And I don't know why you wouldn't want more people in your community and to have more of a built community. Also, much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about conservative queer folks. I have so much confusion around it, and I also feel bad for a lot of them, because like I said before, it just feels like a lot of them have like a giant chip on their shoulder and just resentment, and it kind of just makes me sad that a community that is supposed to be so welcoming and inclusive has people in it that don't want to be as welcoming and inclusive. If you want to see more videos like this one, definitely let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.